Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gascally Statements from Gearworks.com and the E2KG Network podcasting channel on YouTube, as well as the Rounding Off Infinity Gaming channel on YouTube. Here this afternoon with the final closeout notes on my review of the Turtle Beach Battle Buds gaming headset, which you can see actually right over there in that photo. But the live ones I actually have right here with me. So I've had this headset under review for about the past week. If you look back at my Twitch stream, you can see where I did my initial hardware impressions of this headset out of the gate. Now, I initially procured this headset because I thought it would be really cool to try out a device that kind of surmounted the two principal problems whenever you are purchasing a headset, and that's how comfortable is the over the top of your head band going to be. So usually, now of course I don't have one in reach, but you know what I'm talking about, the kind of crossbar thing that goes across the top of your head and connects the two ear cups. And the ear cups themselves, those are the two components of a headset that tend to become uncomfortable once you have had them on for long enough in a gaming session, and that amount of time differs between each of us. So I thought this device would be pretty neat because obviously it does away with the over-the-top headband, and it also does away with the notion of ear cups because you have the earbuds. Now, the earbuds have this rubber that I assume have kind of a silicate gel coating around the outside. Despite having that, they do become mildly irritating after a period of time, so they tend to be more comfortable than some of the less comfortable full-size headsets, but still at the end of the day, something like a Steel Series Arctis 7 I feel like is more comfortable for me. Now, I will say this is nicer for freedom of movement and not feeling overly encumbered when I'm sitting in a gaming seat surrounded by pieces of studio equipment and need to kind of move around. However, the cable length is relatively short in comparison to some other headsets. I might call it medium length. It's probably about 3 or 4 feet of cord that come with the gaming headset. Of course, you can extend that with additional cables, but it is not necessarily the longest cord available out there. Things like Razer headsets tend to come with much longer cords, and I have some other headsets that also have long cords. So for comfort and freedom of movement, it comes out at about a 7 out of 10 for me. And like I said, the earbuds can get a little itchy after a period of time. On audio, the audio is pretty solid. I have used the earbuds just as headphones to listen to the Nintendo Switch while playing Super Mario Odyssey. I then used them while playing Fallout New Vegas last night, and then finally with some multiplayer playing Apex Legends last night as well. I rank the audio about an 8 out of 10, and I kind of scale that or curve that for a set of earbuds. Obviously, they don't have the fidelity of a full-blown set of ear cups that, particularly when you talk about a USB set, can do a lot of spatial audio tricks with simulating 7.1 sound and Dolby Digital. These headphones don't have that capability. Still, the overarching effect of spatial audio is pretty solid. While playing Apex Legends last night, I could definitely hear directionally where hostile units were in my vicinity, and I could pick them up just fine. Again, they just don't have the higher end fidelity that some nicer headphones do. Now, the issue here, the primary issue, con for me on this headset is the boom microphone. Now, the boom microphone is here, and it detaches using a 3.5 millimeter connection, and you have the hole there, and it just connects right in, so it's fairly easy to use. As I mentioned in the initial hardware impressions video, the only thing was and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but this side of the boom microphone, which is actually the inside, has a little dot in the middle. The other side has 2 vents. It's not patently obvious which side is the input side of the microphone, so I did actually have to look that up in the instructions to find out. I mentioned in my initial hardware impressions that my concern was the relatively short length of the boom microphone and whether or not it was going to wind up sitting in too close proximity to the headphones as well. I have really bad allergies, and I'm basically always congested whenever I'm gaming, so I tend to need a longer boom microphone so that I can kind of put the microphone up above my nose so that you don't hear, me constantly sniffling or breathing hard. So generally, I kind of like to put my boom microphone up here around eyeglass level. This boom microphone doesn't really get it far enough out in front of your face and with some ability to cross your face and be in good audio range of your mouth. That being said, it picks up just fine. The problem is that with the short throw of the boom microphone, I don't know about you, but I would tend to say that most of us as gamers, even if we're quiet people, are relatively even-keeled people in terms of audio, all have those friends who wind up in our party chat who are very loud. So, so when you have loud members of your party, what happens is the boom microphone is winds up close enough to the earbud that when they speak, it can key the audio pickup of the boom microphone, and it winds up leaving the mic open. So last night while playing Apex, what would happen is people in my party chat would speak, my mic would key open and remain open for some period of time. And so between them speaking and me speaking, basically my mic was constantly open and transmitting, and you could see it up in the party overlay on Xbox, indicating that my mic was always open. That for me is kind of a non-starter as far as using this for multiplayer. Now, and I should say using it for multiplayer while streaming. If I'm just playing multiplayer with somebody, it probably doesn't really matter that much unless you're in a party or unless you're doing in-game audio and kind of talking to randos and somebody you don't know who might get aggravated about your mic constantly being open. I know that is the use case less and less, but still, if I'm streaming while I'm doing multiplayer, then it's kind of aggravating because they're constantly talking to their chat, and between me talking to my chat. And granted, one thing I do like, I'll call it a plus, is that in the inline controls, you do have a switch here that you can use to put it on mute. And then you do have a slider for volume controls. As I mentioned in the initial hardware impressions, I'm not really crazy about the slider for volume control because I don't know how that's going to hold up over time. I would have preferred just a regular kind of dial wheel for volume control. But the mute switch at least works fine, and I was able to cut back and forth and mute, put my party chat on mute as far as my audio input went, so that whenever I was talking to my stream, I could just use the secondary voiceover microphone that I had rigged. So again, that is kind of a problem and somewhat of a non-starter for me. Ideally, who I think this headset for is it's for, I would say, Nintendo Switch players who take their Switch on the go and also want to do some multiplayer and who actually use Nintendo's online chat client. Now, I think that particular use case is even fewer and far between. Probably just a handful of people who are really hardcore into Splatoon, and I guess Fortnite can use the inline chat directly into the Nintendo Switch, so those people might have a need for it. For that specific use case, I would say this is a great headset, and it might be the best thing for that specific use case out there. This headset is about $30. It's incredibly lightweight. While, like I said, I think larger full-size headsets are better, the issue is if you're packing up and taking your Nintendo Switch with you, you're probably not packing in a way where you really want to take a big honking Mongo pair of SteelSeries Arctis 7s or Razer Krakens or Man of War headsets or Plantronics or anything of that nature. Those headsets, while they're more sturdy, still take up or put a lot of weight in your bag and have the potential to get damaged depending on how the bag is loaded in a car for a road trip, or even just getting it off and on a plane and sticking it underneath the seat. So this might be the best thing. Also, if you're playing on your Nintendo Switch on a plane, even if you're not going to use the boom microphone, which you probably wouldn't use on a plane, but they're fairly nice and lightweight and easy to maneuver in an airplane seat. So again, for Nintendo Switch gamers, I would also say if I were taking my gaming laptop, on a road trip and I thought I would be playing multiplayer or live streaming, this would be a great solution. It's a fine enough solution to use as your voiceover microphone in a live stream if you're not playing multiplayer. And this would be absolutely something I wouldn't mind stuffing in a bag because, again, it would be lighter weight and more compact than some of the other solutions that I have. But again, for streaming multiplayer, it's really kind of a non-starter. So at the end of the day, my personal score for this headset is a 6.5 out of 10. That makes it slightly above average. What I would say is the type of buyer that I'd recommend this for is I get a lot of people asking about gaming headsets from the reviews that I do who are really looking for a headset to use for streaming that they don't want to pay more than $10 or $20 for. In some cases, it seems like they're looking for a headset for free. That's really problematic in the headset industry. I would say a really good headset that you could be fairly comfortable in its performance of is probably going to run you about $100. A pretty nice one with some extra bells and whistles, you're probably going to be up at $150 with your higher end headsets. I would say I really wouldn't bother much with one below $50. This is $30, and so what I would say is rather than go to GameStop and get like a used headset that is that doesn't have a lot of durability left in it and might have questionable reliability, rather than going for some of these really bargain basement like $10 or $20 no-name brand headsets that I see on Amazon, some of which are fine and will last you fine for a year, I might go ahead and spend the $30 on this and have something that's more compact, a lot more durable in build quality than some of the ones that I've seen, again, from Amazon. Has pretty decent audio for a $30 set of earbuds. And like I said, has a perfectly fine boom microphone for use for voiceover commentary in your own live stream, and is really only kind of hampered when you are going to be playing multiplayer and live streaming at the same time. So that's it for my review of the Turtle Beach Battle Buds. I personally like the styling of the white set with the aqua blue, with the aqua blue accents. It's not a horrible headset. It's just not as premium as some other options out there. And for an additional $20, you might have to deal with the discomfort of the overhead band and the ear cups, but you can probably find a better solution. But for hardcore mobile warriors and on-the-go gamers, this might be your best solution in the market, since it's the only one really kind of specifically purpose-built and targeted for that segment. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Either you can whisper me on Twitch, or you can drop a comment on the YouTube video. And if I don't have comments enabled on the YouTube video, because I sometimes have to do that, just hit me up on Twitter at AgasicallyStamus. And yeah, I don't have that social network information posted on my Twitch panel, but I will soon. So there's lots of places around that you can find me and track me down. So that's going to do it for me. Next review in the hopper is going to be the Logitech G432 gaming headset, the successor to the original 430s, a 7.1 headset that I'll be putting on next for review. So thanks so much for tuning in today or watching this in post. That's going to do it for me. Until next time, happy hunting, take care of yourself, stay safe out there, play the games that you like, and stream the games that you love. Until next time, my name has been AgasicallyStamus from the Rounding Off Infinity Gaming channel on YouTube. That's going to do it for me. I'm out.
Absolute beginners came to Georgetown. They were wearing Harris tweed and pork pie hats. They'd slit your throat and throw you in the gutter. But it's all you can expect from men like that. The bus is bound for Niles Bend Harbor. The ladies wear perfume to scar your nose, and the only way to reach them is to scare them. But of that you know little, I suppose. It's a magical and mystical performance as you perambulate pockets full of stardust and perfection. Jesus on your side and in your soul. She had rings on every finger and 10 bracelets, some touched with powers given by a sage. He had contemplated giving her his wristwatch. The time for him had long since gone its way.